To both Disney and Lucasfilm, Star Wars Episode 9 is a very important film in the sequel trilogy, as they are looking and treating this movie as a course correction technique, and also as a recovery in order to bring back the Star Wars community together into one piece. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, we do know that this movie is going to have a lot of nostalgia in it, as well as a lot of fan service and callbacks to the prequels and the originals, etc. And whether or not that's going to be a good or a bad thing is a complete mystery as of right now. It's all about how they execute it on the big screen and how it's all done, how it's acted out. There's a lot of, factors going into all of this that could really make this movie a good or a bad thing, regardless of nostalgia and fan service. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art and storyboard descriptions, etc. A lot of people have been wondering about Mark Hamill's role in this movie as the character of Luke Skywalker. And what's very exciting is that the last couple of scenes that Mark Hamill will be shooting for Episode 9 throughout this month of January leading all the way into February, he will be able to act and come up with his own dialogue for certain scenes involving Luke Skywalker, interacting with the characters of Kylo Ren and Rey, portrayed by both Daisy Ridley and Adam Driver. So this definitely falls directly in line with what we heard a couple of months ago, that there would be a lot of improv in Star Wars Episode 9, a lot of improvisation in this movie. Now, the fact that they are letting Mark Hamill act the way he wants to act as the character of Luke Skywalker for some of his final scenes throughout the month of January leading into February, and coming up with his own dialogue for this movie while he does scenes with Adam Driver and Daisy Ridley, tells us that I think Disney and Lucasfilm are really trying to listen to the fans at this point and let Mark Hamill do what he wants to do. We do know that Mark Hamill, for the very longest time, has wanted to do a version of Luke Skywalker of his own and has wanted to act his own way as the character of Luke. And honestly, I think that this is something that Mark Hamill deserves after what he went through with Star Wars The Last Jedi by writer and director Rian Johnson, and how Mark Hamill completely disagreed with how Rian was using his character. Mark Hamill really was very much unhappy about all of that. So I think that at the very least, this is really exciting to know, because not only is it a great way to respect the actor Mark Hamill, but it also speaks volumes because it tells us that Disney and Lucasfilm are listening to the fans around the world right now, and they probably do want to actually incorporate some realistic dialogue created by Mark Hamill himself. Now, I don't know about you guys, but Mark has great ideas. He has actually come up with different versions of what he would have done in The Force Awakens, and it's brilliant. This man could be a writer if he really wanted to. So, Mark Hamill, the fact that he will be doing his own pieces of dialogue and acting his own way as the character of Luke Skywalker for some of the final scenes throughout January and February as Luke Skywalker, I think is great news. I think it's exciting, and I think it's going to make the scenes feel a whole lot more tangible than they would have been if, let's say, for example, J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio wrote something and told Mark Hamill to do it this way or that way. Now, additionally, we do know that George Lucas had a part in this movie for 2 days, a 2-day shoot, instructing Mark Hamill and J.J. on what to do with the character of Luke for a very specific scene that has to do with a major revelation in this movie. So that's another thing to truly look forward to for sure. So Mark Hamill, we do know that he's not going to have as big of a role as he did in The Last Jedi, but it's not going to be small like how it was in The Force Awakens. It's actually said to be somewhere in between The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, where Luke will be used in a sense in the form of a Force ghost and or a vision dream sequence and or force back vision sequence. So there's a lot really going on here for the character of Luke Skywalker, and I think that a lot of people are expecting them to do something quite shocking in order for there to be a lot of payoff at the very end of the Skywalker saga. Again, in my opinion, when they say the Skywalker saga, I think about Luke and Anakin Skywalker and Leia. That's what I think about when I think about the Skywalker saga. I don't necessarily think about Ben Solo in my mind per se, and that may be what they're referring to when it comes to the final installment of the Skywalker saga. And if that is the case, that could be a huge hint and or indicator that Ben Solo is not going to make it out alive in this movie. You know, if the Skywalker saga is truly going to end and killing off all the Skywalkers and the Solos, etc., if they do decide to go down that route, I think it would mean having to kill off either Ben Solo or General Leia Organa in this movie. There's really a lot at stake here for some of the main characters, not just the sequel characters, but also the legacy characters. Guys, what do you think about all of this? Do you think that improvisation is a risky thing for Mark Hamill to do in this film, and something by Disney and Lucasfilm that they're allowing to do? Is this a risk? Because keep in mind, this is also going to apply to actors like John Boyega, Kelly Marie Tran, Daisy Ridley, Adam Driver. However, for Mark Hamill, this actual thing is going to be applied to some of the final scenes in the movie, so it must be something crucial to the plot of the film that they want to make it feel very realistic and true to the character by Mark Hamill doing it his way. But anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.